Hi, welcome to this initial video on just a description of what Google Apps is, and it will be followed by a couple of other videos telling you how to get Google Apps and what you can actually do with Google Apps. So this is just an introductory video. I hope you enjoy it. What is Google Apps? Well, it's a collection of tools, online tools, web-based tools that lets us collaborate with students and colleagues, and happens to be particularly good in the area of sharing information and collaboration. Now, very importantly, it's web-based. So basically, it doesn't matter what computer you have, it matters what browser you have. And experience has shown that it's best to use the Chrome browser, although it seems to work okay with Safari as well, or Firefox. The most important thing would probably be don't use Internet Explorer. Now, internet is required to access it, so if the internet's down, you won't get Google Apps. One of its advantages is that you can sit down pretty much at any device and use it. And that includes tablets as well, and even phones, although on those devices you'll need specific apps rather than just using the browser. So finally, Google Apps is a collaboration between Google and the DEC. This means that you're automatically registered to use Google Apps. It means the students are automatically registered to use Google Apps. You basically don't need to configure anything. We'll run through in the next video how you actually access it from your portal, but basically it's all been set up for you by the department, which is great. So when you do access Google Apps, you'll actually see this screen here, and this is basically all of the things that are included in Google Apps. I tend not to use too many of them, but basically I use Drive up here, which is very much like a C drive, but it's accessed over the internet. It has folders, it has files, you can create documents and spreadsheets and presentations. Now, this screen looks awfully busy. It looks like there's an awful lot of tools that come with Google Apps, but actually, in actual fact, you'll probably only use Drive, Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Classroom. Now, Drive, as I described, gives you a C drive. Docs lets you create a word process document. Sheets lets you create a spreadsheet style document, and Slides let you create a presentation. So they sort of equate to Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. They have their own bells and whistles. They let you collaborate, and they also let you do things like, do quizzes and things like that within a document and stuff like that. So they're the main area that I actually use within Google Drive. You have Classroom, which is basically like a Facebook posting forum where you can top post things. In other words, the most recent post goes up the top. This is really good for very quick shooting information to students. Lets you share things as well, so you can post not just a comment, but you can actually share a file or something similar. A similar thing is found in Edmodo as well. Okay. So one of the confusions about Google Apps and what it is we hear we already have Moodle, we already have Edmodo. Why do we need Google Apps? Okay, well, let's start with Moodle. My personal belief is at the moment there's not enough functionality in Google Apps to replace all the functionality we need from Moodle. Moodle's very good at organizing and presenting a whole subject worth of information for the students to review at the end of the year, for example. Google Apps tends to be more immediate, as in, you might be in the middle of a lesson, you want to share something, it's a great place to share things, but it's not a really good place to put a structure to let students review things at the end of the year. So actually Moodle Moodle and Google Apps can work very well together. You can actually embed a Google document, for example, within a Moodle page, and that's what I would recommend you do at this stage. Edmodo, the biggest downfall with Edmodo I found is that the school doesn't own it. In other words, at any stage, the company Edmodo could just turn around and say, we're going to start charging money for it or whatever else. It does have the advantage of being much more mature probably than Google Apps. But yeah, I think Google Apps will, in general, can replace most of what Edmodo offers, but it needs to work in conjunction with Moodle so that there's enough functionality there to do both things. And so this is just saying some of the strength. That's another strength of Moodle. The course that's set up is actually owned by the school. So Moodle's owned by the school, and so when we set the course up, it's owned by the school. However, if you contrast that to Google Apps, whatever you set up in Google Apps is really owned by the teacher. And if the teacher leaves the school or there's some dispute about who should control the content within a course, it becomes an issue for the school because the school does not have control of those facilities. That's owned by the teacher or the person that shares the information. And as mentioned before, it tends to be organized by topic, and it's not top posting like Google Apps, which is much better. Of course, as we all know, the problem with Moodle is very difficult to use, which is contrasted to Google Apps, which is generally pretty easy to use. So Google Apps for Education, simple to use, configured by the deck. We've already covered that. It's very good at collaboration. So in future videos, what you'll see is tools that let basically multiple students edit the same document simultaneously. It's actually quite useful in the classroom. It's accessible from all computers, which is great. There's an online community support, which we'll talk about later. It's perhaps too simple, which is a weakness. And there's very few organizational options when it comes to having a lot of information that you want to organize by topic. That talks about Edmodo. I'm not going to go through it. And so basically, in summary, I would say that Google Apps and Moodle work together to help the teachers and students to communicate and share information. That's pretty much summarizes what Google Apps is. Basically, you can think of it as a collection of collaboration tools that let you share information with students and also let students share information with other students. And so that lets them collaborate on tasks together. Thank you for watching this video.